不要再想你，不要再爱你，当时间悄悄地飞逝。
他们的生意的发展真的是很好。我自己已经10年来中国了，我已经很长时间跟中国人合作。为什么呢？因为我比较了解国外的文化，但是我也很理解中国文化，所以我就帮大家一起成功。
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, and also like I do really appreciate the transparency. I honestly think Jesus in. So we just made it to Guangzhou. We came from Shenzhen and we went by train, which is, if you'd ask me, the best way to go anywhere in China. Highly recommend if you haven't done that. Best possible experience when it comes to traveling I've ever had. Anyway, the reason we're in Guangzhou today is, as a business, and from me specifically, this is helping brands to expand internationally. So you produce in China, you put your goods in our warehouse, and you ship to over 100 countries. That's the core delivery that we have as a business. It's like our core offering. One thing that is really important for anyone that owns a business, not in, like my niche, but any business, it's to always try and see if you can find things that completely differentiate yourself from anyone that offers that same thing in the market. I've been on this side of the world for over a decade. I've helped brands save millions of dollars, improve product quality, as well as better payment terms with their suppliers. And that is something that at my company we offer. We cut out the middleman, we directly put them in touch, and we help them with these terms, quality, and pricing. And these tactics, I've been sharpening my pencil for over a decade. I've been coming here for as long as I can remember. This is almost like my second home. I always joke that I don't look Chinese, but I feel very Chinese. Apart from my stomach, that one every now and then just fails on me. But I wanted to share with you and take you guys through what that looks like, the tactics that I use, and we've got the meeting later today, and just wanted to show you guys and take you guys through. So, welcome to Guangzhou.
Wow.
And it's your first time in Guangzhou, which is really exciting.
Bro, I'm just so flabbergasted here.
Alright, let's go. I booked a Didi that is ready to pick us up, so let's see where the guy's at. So one of the first things that I always do when helping clients negotiate this, or just help them to improve the relationship, what happens a lot is that on this side of the world, a lot feels very foreign, very far away, and a lot of people are not really aware of how life even works here, what is normal, what isn't normal, and also what's a good price, what's a bad price. So I think one thing that I always do, and I recommend everyone to do, is just understand the product and quality and what the market has to offer within a similar range. So you can find a few other suppliers to just see what price and quality they deliver. So if you are paying $10 for a product and you find another supplier that charges $8 but the quality is similar, that's where you create leverage. So it just, again, before any of these trips, we always do extensive research. We reach out to different manufacturers, we order samples so that we can enter the conversation with the existing manufacturer, just being like, hey, we've done a little bit of research, we understand the market, this is the quality that we can get. We don't want to really sacrifice this relationship because we've been working together for a while, but this and that. So really to just doing your research and understanding the relationship and what you want to get out of that, and knowing what you want before you enter the actual conversation is always like really important. So I align with my clients, and we do the research so that we enter that conversation with everything just lined out, and it's almost like a game of chess where the next potential move that you can just counter. So if you go in there and you're like, hey, I want a better price, and they're gonna say, no, we can't because of material, this, that, and you've done the research on the material and you understand the labor costs, or like at least the average, you can counter that, because otherwise it's gonna be a no against a yes and you're stuck. So those are all the things that we do. We've done that for this client itself as well. I'll show you guys what that looks like. And again, like the intention is really to not squeeze them, but like 9 out of 10 times, because of people not understanding what's going on this side of the world, or only having spoken to one partner just once, they just accepted that that's how it is and that is the price. But there's been cases where we've helped clients like literally save $1 million a year on like through a decrease in product price, where we managed to get $4 off the cost of goods, including like better payment terms. So I think yeah, do your homework.
再让悲伤将我心占据。
OK，我把地址发给你。我知道，在广州最漂亮的酒店。对，你猜一下是哪里啊？
So say we've got 1 million pieces. That means we get them. Say we get 25% of that, which is
Over.
yeah, right. Divided by 100. I can just do times 0.25.
Yes.
Yeah, so then we get 1.25. That would be a deal for us in a year
Yes.
of 125k. Those negotiations or during those deals, we can. Hey, I'm just gonna quickly go to 7-Eleven or Lawson to just buy
Yeah.
a few snacks. Do you want something? Water? Or...
No, I'm good. I'm good.
You sure?
Where's there?
Hey bro, how are you? We made it to Guangzhou. I just want you to be here. A lot of the conversation is going to be in Chinese. I've got the
我想开始这个会议跟大家说一下，非常感谢老板，你不知道你是从河北过来的，所以我特别感谢你安排的那个时间跟我们讨论一下。我跟 Snow 已经讨论过我们现在遇到的情况和我们现在的情况。Sam 是我最好的朋友 ，Carlos 我也已经很长时间认识他。他们的生意的发展真的是很好。
就这一点确实是就是我们后边要去改正的。
对，而且除了我理解现在的情况，但是我觉得最重要的为客户也是，这个也是为什么他们会联系我，因为他感觉就是这个不是太透明。
对。
所以如果他们以后就会发现这种事情，这个影响很大。
对，我觉得客户可能他的就是想真正拿到一个解决方案，就是我接下来的订单如何得到质量上的保证。
But that's the quality we're at least aiming for.
Okay, it's all good because we shouldn't really split it in batches. Ideally, it should just be good to begin with. But again, I understand that trust is. 客户现在觉得就是我们上个月我们好像给你们的数量就是22500，或者25万，是25万的产品。但是他现在是说 ，OK， 我们要分开这个生产，因为我们有太怕了，这个产品会遇到问题，所以我这个是从我开始这个会议跟你们分享的说，客户就非常怕，他就不相信，如果我们现在下那么大的一个订单，这个有一点危险，他们一点点空都没有再遇到这个问题，所以我真的很希望，我就很透明跟你说，这是我们客户的要求。我知道你刚才全部分享的，我已经10年来中国了，我已经很长时间来中国，我跟各种各样子的工厂合作。我知道有时候他们就会骗我，或说那我给你$1什么的，然后未来他们会再会遇到。但是我也非常清楚，有很好的一些工厂，他们也能看得到这个是很大的一个机会，所以我就很透明跟你说。我真的很希望我们可以继续合作，但是这个$1.5的价格是太高了。所以我是希望我们可以再算一下，看一下，因为这个数量真的是很高的。我也不一定想给你太多压力，因为我知道你们肯定也是需要有你们自己的利润。但是，如果因为我们就会投资很多时间理解一下这种产品是怎么生产，我们也能看得到，我们也能找得到这种材料是多少钱。
So it's about 10 p.m. right now. We've had a really, really, really big day. A long day, but also with a lot of good results. So I think that based on this trip and knowing the numbers of this client in particular and the conversations that we've had and also the research that we've done, that a trip like this, which again, I highly encourage anyone who's here who deals with China to do, is probably going to make this client an extra $500,000 to $1 million a year based on just the negotiations that we have done today. And on top of that, it's also going to result in more favorable payment terms. Now, one of the things that I want to share with you guys is that throughout that negotiation, what I really try and do is to just lean into that transparency. I think in the end of the day, if you'd ask me, most suppliers will at some point, and I'm talking 5 years into the future, will become your competitor. Because I've seen so many manufacturers being able to reach the end consumer and actually create really good brands. A really good example is DJI. They're an incredible case study of a factory starting a brand and becoming like a globally endorsed, one of the top, I would say, best products in like drone manufacturing, camera gear, and all of that stuff. They were the ones who initially started with just selling product to clients. So really understanding that side of China just really helps and creates that leverage, which again, any negotiation, even the ones that you do that are not relevant to this, you just need to understand your numbers, because when you do, that's when you can just anticipate on objections or just like a direction that is set by the other side of whoever you're negotiating with. And in this case, we did have some offers on the table which allowed me to just really confront them and just be like, hey, listen, I want to continue to work with you, but we have these really good offers on the table. And usually what happens a lot on these sides is, again, the unknowing from the customer side, where there's a really big gap in terms of margin. So same product can be bought for $10, but they're selling it for $15. That's a $5 margin. Now, people usually don't know, they don't research, they're happy, but I'm not saying that you should completely squeeze your supplier and not give them a cut. Everyone needs to make money, but I do think that it should be reasonable. $5 and not having had any price decrease in a while, is a little bit steep, especially when you just do a bit of research and there's other people out there. So that's like one of the first steps that you just do, and you prepare a trip like this. And I thought I'd just like share you guys and show you guys what it is that we do. I myself, and again, for anyone watching that is not per se dealing with China and whatever, but just as a business model, when you position yourself in a market where everyone, cuts out the middleman to become a new middleman, it's a race to the bottom. So in an approach like this, I just tell a client, listen, I want the best possible deal for you. I'll just charge you a percentage of the discount that I make you. So say I charge, for whatever example, 30%. These guys makes an extra $1 million a year. I make an extra 300 grand. And then after that, they just basically bank the full discount. So that's just like a really good model and really, smart way to position yourself, because without this help, without this guidance, they wouldn't have made that extra $1 million, which, is only fair for me to ask for a percentage of that. So it's a really good approach, and there's very little risk to the client on, working with us and helping us out, which you can apply that same frame of mind to like the model, whatever business you're in, to like really think of the perspective of, okay, how can I help people make more money and take a cut of that? But yeah, let me see, anything else? One thing that's also really good to know is that in some of these negotiations, you kind of enter with having the outcome in mind. So say that we really want to make sure we get 60 days post-production payment terms. And again, this is specific to supply chain, but you could do this with any business. You have the outcome in mind, and you just ask, what would it take for you to give me those terms? Meaning I could pay slightly more
to get more favorable payment terms. And those are all ways that you can just kind of work your way, almost like a game of chess, towards getting the outcome that you want, you know. And I've done this in many different industries, also different scenarios, and again, just like really hoped to share and show you guys kind of the approach and you know, the way sometimes you just gotta really be firm and set in your ways and just be direct about, hey, look, we want to continue, but these are the options. This is what we need. How can we get there? What do you need for us to arrive there? That said, that was my last little bit of energy of the day. I'm gonna get a good night of sleep now, 9:30. Been at it since early morning, but like I said, really good trip.